Imagine stepping into your Nonna's kitchen, the smell of fresh basil, simmering tomato sauce, and homemade pasta filling the air. These were the meals that brought families together, recipes whispered across generations, and flavors that defined Italian-American homes for decades. Yet, many of these dishes have quietly disappeared, tucked away in faded recipe books or memories that no one wrote down. 25 Lost Italian-American Recipes Your Nonna Made invites you to rediscover these culinary treasures. From rustic pastas to hearty meatballs, from delicate pastries to simple, comforting soups, each dish tells a story of immigration, adaptation, and love. These recipes were more than food. They were family traditions, Sunday celebrations, and the essence of home. In this journey, we'll explore the stories behind these lost recipes, why they vanished from modern kitchens, and how their flavors shaped the Italian-American experience. Get ready to taste history, uncover nostalgia, and reconnect with the recipes your Nonna might have made, but the world almost forgot. Food is more than sustenance. It's memory, culture, and identity. Yet, over time, even the most beloved recipes can fade from our lives. Italian-American dishes are no exception. Generational shifts, urban migration, and the rise of industrialized food have all played a part in making once common recipes feel foreign today. A lasagna recipe handed down from your Nonna might have relied on ingredients grown in her backyard or procured from local markets. But modern conveniences and supermarket staples have changed the way we cook, often replacing authentic flavors with quicker alternatives. Cultural assimilation also reshaped these culinary traditions. Immigrant families adapted dishes to American tastes, blending Italian techniques with local ingredients. Some recipes, however, were too complex, too time-consuming, or too tied to regional Italian traditions to survive this evolution. Slowly, they disappeared from family tables, preserved only in fading memories or dog-eared handwritten notes. Contrast frames the loss sharply. What was once a common, everyday dish is now a rare, almost exotic delight. A homemade gnocchi or a specific regional sauce might now appear only in boutique restaurants or specialty cookbooks. Food memories, intimately tied to family rituals and personal nostalgia, vanish when generations move, busy lives intervene, or simpler alternatives dominate. Yet, the disappearance of these recipes tells a deeper story. It reflects the tension between progress and preservation, modern convenience, and cultural continuity. Understanding why food memories fade helps us recognize the hidden layers behind every lost dish. By exploring these patterns, we can appreciate the delicate balance between keeping traditions alive and adapting to new ways of living, ensuring that the flavors of the past are not entirely lost to time. That Italian-American cuisine is a rich tapestry woven from centuries of tradition, migration, and adaptation. When Italian immigrants arrived in America during the late 19th and early 20th centuries, they brought more than recipes. They carried family histories, regional identities, and culinary philosophies. Each dish told a story, whether it was a hearty ragu from Naples, a delicate seafood preparation from Sicily, or a rustic bread from Tuscany. These foods were not just meals. They were cultural anchors, comforting reminders of home amidst the challenges of assimilation. The influence of Italian immigrants reshaped the culinary landscape of cities across America. Urban neighborhoods like Little Italy in New York, North End in Boston, and the Italian districts of Chicago became hubs of both community and cuisine. In these enclaves, Italian recipes were preserved, adapted, and celebrated. Families gathered around small kitchen tables, passing down Nonna's recipes through generations. Sunday dinners became rituals, a time for storytelling, laughter, and the reaffirmation of identity through food. Italian-American sandwiches, pastas, and baked goods became markers of social life, bridging community ties. Street vendors, local bakeries, and deli shops offered quick, affordable access to familiar flavors while also introducing American audiences to traditional Italian tastes. Over time, these dishes evolved, blending Italian techniques with locally available ingredients. Pepperoni, meatball, and sausage sandwiches became staples, reflecting both resourcefulness and culinary creativity. Yet, The very success of Italian-American cuisine in the broader American context contributed to the disappearance of some authentic recipes. As dishes became popularized, simplified versions emerged, often stripped of regional specificity or subtle nuances. Industrialized ingredients replaced handcrafted sauces, and convenience overtook tradition. A ricotta-filled ravioli from a specific village in Abruzzo might no longer be found outside family kitchens, while mass-produced versions flooded supermarket shelves. Contrast frames this heritage vividly. The meals that once defined family identity are now often relegated to specialty restaurants or nostalgia-driven food blogs. What was everyday sustenance and cultural expression has become rare, almost ceremonial. Understanding the Italian-American food heritage is crucial, not only to appreciate the flavors, but to recognize the stories, values, and history embedded within each dish. These culinary traditions tell a broader story of migration, adaptation, and resilience. Through food, Italian-Americans maintained a sense of belonging and community in a new world, even as their recipes evolved. Preserving this heritage allows us to honor the past, keep traditions alive, and ensure that lost recipes might one day be rediscovered and savored again. The golden era of Italian-American sandwiches began in the bustling streets of early 20th century cities, where immigrants brought with them the vibrant flavors of their homelands. These sandwiches were more than a quick meal. They were portable pieces of culture, carrying the taste of Italy into the heart of urban America. In neighborhoods like New York's Little Italy or Boston's North End, family-run delis and street vendors crafted sandwiches that were both hearty and inventive, reflecting regional Italian traditions while adapting to local ingredients. One iconic example is the classic Italian hero, layered with fresh mozzarella, cured meats, and tangy giardiniera. It was a sandwich that spoke to both practicality and indulgence, offering sustenance for a long day's work, while also evoking the comfort of home. Another staple was the meatball sub, born from the need to repurpose family recipes for busy city workers. Thick slices of bread held flavorful meatballs, smothered in tomato sauce and sprinkled with cheese, an enduring symbol of Italian-American ingenuity. The golden era wasn't just about individual sandwiches, it was a social phenomenon. Delis became gathering spots where community members shared news, celebrated milestones, and connected over food. Workers on lunch breaks, children returning from school, and families strolling the streets all became part of this culinary rhythm. The act of eating a sandwich was tied to identity, memory, and a sense of belonging. Sensory storytelling brings this era to life. The aroma of freshly baked bread mingling with simmering tomato sauce, the sizzling of cured meats on a hot grill, the satisfying crunch of pickled peppers. These sandwiches weren't simply eaten, they were experienced. Their flavors were bold, their textures varied, and their presence in everyday life was constant, marking a time when food was both necessity and celebration. Yet, even during this golden era, some recipes began to vanish. As Italian-American families moved to the suburbs, industrialization and the rise of fast food altered eating habits. Sandwiches that once required hours of preparation were replaced by quicker alternatives, and regional nuances were lost in mass-produced versions. What was once a bustling tradition in every city street and neighborhood deli slowly faded into memory, leaving behind only the classics that survived commercialization. Contrast framing captures the nostalgia. The vibrant, handcrafted sandwiches of the early 20th century now stand in stark relief against today's uniform, convenience-driven offerings. What was ordinary, communal, and sensory-rich has become rare and treasured. Appreciating this golden era means recognizing not just the sandwiches themselves, but the cultural, social, and historical tapestry they represent. An era when food was both a bridge to the past and a foundation for immigrant identity in America. Once a staple in Italian-American households, the Sicilian caponata hero featured sweet and tangy eggplant stewed with tomatoes, olives, and capers, stuffed into a soft Italian roll. Popular in early 1900s New York, it reflected Sicilian culinary traditions adapted for the urban palate. Over time, the rise of meat-heavy sandwiches and simplified deli offerings pushed this delicate vegetable-based hero out of favor. Its complex layers of flavor, sweet, sour, and savory, remain a lost testament to the creativity of immigrant cooks preserving their heritage. The polpettine sub, filled with small seasoned meatballs simmered in tomato sauce and topped with melting provolone, was a lunchtime favorite for Italian immigrants working long hours. Its portability and hearty nature made it ideal for street vendors. As fast food chains and industrial sandwiches grew, the polpettine sub disappeared from delis, replaced by simpler meatball options. Today, it's remembered only in old family cookbooks and oral histories, a fleeting flavor that once symbolized the resilience and resourcefulness of immigrant communities. Roast pork with broccoli rabe sandwiches combined tender roasted pork shoulder with bitter, garlicky greens on a fresh Italian roll. Iconic in Philadelphia's Italian neighborhoods, it offered a balance of rich meat and vibrant greens, reflecting a blend of Neapolitan traditions. With changing tastes and limited access to fresh broccoli rabe in urban markets, this sandwich slowly vanished. Its disappearance marked a loss of depth and flavor profiles, leaving behind only simplified pork or sausage sandwiches in most delis, far removed from its original culinary sophistication. The soppressata fontina melt layered spicy cured sausage with creamy, melting fontina cheese on a toasted Italian bun. Popular in New York and Boston in the 1930s, it offered bold flavors that appealed to adventurous palates. As American taste shifted toward milder flavors and mass-produced meats, the sandwich fell out of favor. The combination of heat, richness, and crunch was a lost hallmark of Italian-American innovation. Today, few delis attempt to recreate the original, leaving enthusiasts to reminisce about its harmonious balance of spice and creaminess. The eggplant parmesan grinder, stuffed with lightly fried eggplant, marinara sauce, and grated Romano cheese, was a vegetarian-friendly alternative in Italian-American neighborhoods. Loved for its texture contrast and savory tomato richness, it was often served at family gatherings or as a casual lunch. Industrialization of food and declining home-cooked traditions led to its disappearance from street delis. Its layered flavors and crispy soft combination remain a lost culinary gem, representing the ingenuity of Italian immigrants adapting classic recipes for American ingredients and sandwich culture. Blending canned tuna, olive oil, capers, and diced vegetables, the Italian tuna salad hero was a simple yet elegant sandwich. Popular in the mid-20th century, it offered a lighter alternative to meat-heavy subs while staying rooted in Mediterranean flavors. Over time, it was overshadowed by mainstream tuna sandwiches and prepackaged salads. Its balance of briny, savory, and fresh flavors reflected Italian-American culinary sensibilities that valued quality ingredients and careful seasoning. The disappearance of this hero underscores a broader trend of losing nuanced, home-style sandwiches. Prosciutto arugula ciabatta combined thinly sliced cured ham with peppery arugula and a drizzle of olive oil on crusty ciabatta bread. Emerging in the 1950s in Italian-American cafes, it was a sophisticated, light option amidst heavier sub-choices. The sandwich slowly faded from traditional delis as simpler ham and cheese subs dominated. Its subtle interplay of salty, bitter, and earthy flavors makes it a rare delight today. Rediscovering this sandwich would require honoring its delicate balance, a challenge for modern cooks focused on speed and uniformity. Mortadella with pickled vegetables paired smooth, fatty Italian sausage with tangy, crunchy pickles, creating a satisfying flavor contrast. Popular in Boston's Italian communities, it offered a nuanced taste experience that balanced richness and acidity. Over decades, the sandwich declined due to shifts toward simpler cold cuts and prepackaged meats. Its absence reflects how immigrant culinary creativity, particularly the use of contrasting flavors, was lost in the face of homogenized deli offerings. Today, it survives only in scattered family recipes and vintage deli menus. Chicken scarpariello sandwich, inspired by the traditional Italian braised chicken with peppers and wine, turned a home-cooked classic into a street-friendly delight. Favored in New York's early Italian neighborhoods, it provided bold, tangy flavors and tender meat in a sandwich format. Industrialization and fast food trends caused its decline, as restaurants focused on simpler chicken options. Its disappearance eroded a unique flavor profile in Italian-American cuisine, blending rich, savory meat with piquant accompaniments, a testament to the immigrant ability to adapt traditional dishes into portable meals. Caprese on Garlic Hero combined fresh mozzarella, ripe tomatoes, basil, and a drizzle of balsamic on a garlicky toasted roll. Though today caprese is widely enjoyed in salads, the sandwich version was a 1950s Italian-American deli specialty. Its delicate layering of freshness and acidity made it stand out, but convenience-focused sandwiches gradually replaced it. The Caprese Hero's disappearance represents the loss of subtle, vegetable-forward options within traditional delis. Its revival would reconnect modern eaters with the balance and elegance Italian immigrants brought to their sandwich innovations. The Italian sausage peppers grinder was a hearty favorite, combining sweet or spicy sausage with sautéed bell peppers and onions on a soft roll. This sandwich defined street fairs and corner delis in mid-20th century Italian-American neighborhoods. Its popularity declined as mass-produced hot dogs and fast food sausage sandwiches became the norm. The loss of this classic grinder eroded a connection to neighborhood celebrations and homemade flavor. Today, few delis attempt the original, leaving a gap in authentic Italian-American street food culture. Veal Parmesan sub-stack tender breaded veal cutlets with marinara sauce and mozzarella on a toasted hoagie roll. Once a lunchbox favorite for children and adults alike, it showcased the Italian-American talent for layering flavor and texture. Fast food chains offering simpler chicken or beef sandwiches contributed to its disappearance. The veal Parmesan sub's loss represents a shift away from rich, celebratory home-style sandwiches. Its complex taste and indulgent nature remain a symbol of culinary creativity in immigrant communities, now rarely found outside family kitchens. Genoa Salami Provolone Hero combined spicy cured salami with creamy provolone, accented by olive oil and pickled vegetables. Common in Philadelphia and New York delis, it offered bold flavors that satisfied hungry workers. Over time, pre-sliced meats and bland combinations replaced this hero. Its absence highlights the erosion of flavorful, thoughtfully constructed sandwiches. The Genoa Salami Hero exemplified the Italian-American skill of balancing spice, fat, and acidity, a nuance lost when delis prioritized speed and standardization over tradition. Pepperoni mozzarella sub featured a simple yet beloved pairing, spicy pepperoni with melted mozzarella in a toasted Italian roll. Popular in early 20th century delis, it bridged childhood nostalgia and adult tastes. Industrial sandwich production and evolving palates caused its gradual disappearance. Despite its simplicity, the sandwich demonstrated the importance of layering flavor and texture in Italian-American cuisine. Its loss is a reminder that even straightforward combinations, carefully crafted, can be culturally significant, representing the culinary bridge between immigrant heritage and American adaptation. Anchovy Olive Grinder delivered bold, briny flavors for adventurous eaters, combining cured anchovies, black olives, and sharp provolone. Once a delicacy in Boston and New York's Italian-American neighborhoods, it was prized for intensity and balance. Over time, more mainstream palates rejected anchovy-heavy sandwiches, leading to its disappearance. This loss underscores the fading of daring flavor choices in urban delis. Today, the anchovy olive grinder is remembered only in family stories and vintage menus, a testament to the immigrant community's willingness to embrace strong, traditional flavors in portable forms. Eggplant Roasted Pepper Hero was a vegetarian delight, featuring tender roasted eggplant, sweet peppers, and melted provolone on a soft roll. Popular among Italian-American families seeking lighter options, it highlighted seasonal produce and regional flavors. Its decline coincided with the rise of meat-centric sandwiches and convenience-focused options. The sandwich's disappearance erased a flavorful, vegetable-forward choice from mainstream delis. Its legacy, however, survives in home kitchens, preserving the tradition of transforming simple ingredients into a satisfying and balanced sandwich experience. The Italian cold-cut combo layered mortadella, ham, salami, and capicola with provolone and a touch of olive oil. It was a deli cornerstone, celebrated for variety, texture, and portability. Mass-market pre-packaged sandwiches and homogenized deli meats replaced this intricate assembly. The loss of the Italian cold-cut combo represents the simplification of complex flavor layering in sandwiches. Its original appeal lay in the careful balance of cured meats, cheeses, and bread, reflecting immigrant dedication to creating satisfying, well-rounded portable meals. Veal Spinach Hero featured tender veal, sautéed spinach, and provolone on an Italian roll. Once a mid-century lunch favorite, it offered a balance of protein and greens, blending hearty and healthy. Its decline came from industrial sandwiches and changing tastes. This loss highlights how Italian-American delis adapted classic Italian ingredients into sandwiches, creating nuanced, complete meals. Today, the Veal Spinach Hero is largely forgotten, a culinary gem whose thoughtful combination of meat, vegetables, and bread demonstrates the skill of early immigrant cooks in creating portable yet satisfying dishes. Prosciutto, fig ricotta combines sweet figs, creamy ricotta, and salty prosciutto on soft Italian bread. This gourmet sandwich once delighted taste adventurers in New York and Boston. Its decline was due to the rise of simpler, meat-focused subs and industrial bread. Its disappearance represents a loss of nuanced flavor experimentation in Italian-American sandwiches. The balance of sweet, salty, and creamy elements showed a sophisticated understanding of taste harmony, a rare trait in modern deli offerings. Rediscovering it would revive a lost artisan sensibility. Mortadella pistachio spread paired smooth, fatty mortadella with a nutty pistachio spread, creating a rich, indulgent sandwich. Popular in mid-century Italian-American neighborhoods, it showcased inventive flavor combinations. Over decades, standardized cold cuts and pre-made spreads caused it to vanish. Its loss reflects the homogenization of deli culture, which favored mass appeal over traditional innovation. Today, it survives only in specialty shops or home recipes, a reminder of the creativity immigrants brought to sandwiches, elevating simple ingredients into memorable, layered flavor experiences. Italian roast beef giardiniera combined thinly sliced roast beef with pickled vegetable relish, offering spicy, tangy accents against tender meat. It was popular in Chicago and New York delis for workers' lunches. Industrialized meat production and simplified sandwiches led to its disappearance. The sandwich highlighted immigrant ingenuity in adding preserved vegetables to enhance flavor and texture. Its absence signals the fading of nuanced, vegetable-forward touches in American sandwiches, leaving a gap where flavor depth and cultural heritage once thrived in daily lunch offerings. Salami, egg, cheese hero was a breakfast staple in Italian-American neighborhoods, combining fried eggs, savory salami, and melting cheese on a soft roll. Its convenience and hearty nature made it ideal for early morning laborers. As breakfast sandwiches became homogenized and fast food chains grew, this hero faded from delis. Its disappearance reflects the loss of innovative breakfast options that blended protein, cured meat, and cheese thoughtfully. Today, few places attempt the authentic combination, leaving nostalgia and family stories as the primary record of its deliciousness. Roasted vegetable pesto grinder layered zucchini, eggplant, bell peppers, and rich basil pesto on a toasted roll. Popular in health-conscious Italian-American households of the 1950s, it offered vibrant flavors and textures. Over time, industrialized meat-heavy sandwiches replaced it. Its loss highlights the disappearance of sophisticated vegetarian options in traditional delis. This sandwich demonstrated the ability to balance earthy vegetables with aromatic sauces, creating a satisfying, portable meal. Today, it survives primarily in home kitchens and specialty cafes seeking to revive vintage flavors. Prosciutto mozzarella with arugula combined thinly sliced cured ham, fresh mozzarella, and peppery arugula on a crusty roll. Favored in mid-century urban delis, it balanced salty, creamy, and bitter flavors perfectly. Simplification in deli offerings led to its decline. Its disappearance reflects the loss of careful flavor layering and vegetable inclusion in sandwiches. The sandwich showcased Italian-American culinary skill in harmonizing ingredients that were accessible yet flavorful, creating a portable yet gourmet experience now rarely found outside specialty delis or family kitchens. Eggplant, sausage ricotta hero layered roasted eggplant, crumbled Italian sausage, and creamy ricotta on a fresh Italian roll. It was celebrated for its balance of rich, savory, and creamy textures in New York delis. The sandwich faded as simpler, standardized meat options dominated. Its absence marks the loss of intricate flavor combinations and home-style creativity in Italian-American sandwich culture. Today, it remains a hidden gem, representing the ingenuity of immigrant cooks who transformed traditional recipes into satisfying, portable meals for urban life that in many Italian-American households. Sandwiches were more than just a meal. They were a family tradition, a way to connect across generations. Nonna would wake early, carefully slicing fresh bread, simmering tomato sauce, or roasting vegetables for a sandwich that would feed not just the body, but the spirit. These recipes weren't written down. They were passed orally, taught with hands-on demonstrations, and infused with personal touches that reflected each family's tastes. The memory of a sandwich often carried the smell of the kitchen, the sound of laughter, and the warmth of shared stories. Older neighborhood delis also played a vital role. Each sandwich told a story of the immigrants who created it, adapted to the ingredients they could find in American markets. Workers relied on these sandwiches for sustenance, yet each order was crafted with care, reflecting the culinary heritage of Italy while evolving with the American palate. Children grew up with these flavors, associating each bite with family gatherings, church festivals, and neighborhood celebrations. Oral histories reveal fascinating anecdotes. A grandmother recalling how she sneaked prosciutto into a sandwich for her children, or a father reminiscing about waiting in line at the local deli for the famous veal parmesan sub. These stories capture the essence of community life and culinary creativity, reminding us that food is memory. As industrialized sandwiches rose in popularity, these personal traditions began to fade. The art of crafting a perfect sandwich by hand, with attention to detail and flavor balance, became rarer. Yet in some households, the practice survives. Nonna still rolls eggplant slices in breadcrumbs, spreads ricotta generously, and layers cured meats with care, keeping the heritage alive. Through these intimate narratives, we see more than just lost recipes. We see the fading of a way of life. Each sandwich carries with it tales of migration, adaptation, and resilience. Preserving these stories is as important as preserving the recipes themselves, for they connect us to our roots and remind us that food, in its simplest form, is a vessel of memory and culture. The disappearance of cherished Italian-American sandwiches is not just a culinary loss. It's a story of changing times and shifting priorities. One practical factor was the rise of industrial food production. As supermarkets and mass-produced ingredients became widespread, many homemade components, freshly baked rolls, hand-cured meats, house-made sauces, were replaced by convenient, standardized alternatives. The subtle nuances that made these sandwiches extraordinary were lost in favor of speed and uniformity. Another factor was generational taste shifts. Children who grew up on Nonna sandwiches often gravitated toward fast food or modern culinary trends as they grew older. The flavors of their childhood, once comforting and exciting, began to feel old-fashioned. What was once everyday sustenance became exotic and unfamiliar, leading many families to gradually abandon the recipes that had defined their heritage. Urban migration also played a role. As families moved to different neighborhoods or cities, access to certain fresh ingredients diminished. Deli traditions that relied on local, neighborhood-specific suppliers could not always survive the relocation, further contributing to the fading of these recipes. Cultural assimilation added another layer of change. Italian-American families, eager to blend into mainstream American society, sometimes downplayed traditional foods in favor of more American meals. Over decades, this subtle shift compounded the effect, leaving fewer households actively preparing these sandwiches from scratch. Even within the culinary world, trends influenced what recipes were preserved. Italian-American chefs who entered professional kitchens often adapted traditional sandwiches to suit restaurant menus, emphasizing portability or modern flavors over authenticity. While some recipes found new life in trendy eateries, many remained tied to home kitchens, vulnerable to fading memories. Contrast framing highlights the striking transformation. Sandwiches that were once a daily fixture in homes and delis are now rare curiosities, remembered fondly by a few and largely unknown to the broader public. They went from the heart of community life to relics of a fading cultural memory. This loss reminds us that recipes are not just food. They are culture, identity, and history, fragile and susceptible to the winds of modernization. By understanding why these sandwiches disappeared, we appreciate not only their flavors, but also the social and cultural context that sustained them for generations. When we lose a recipe, we lose more than just a combination of ingredients. We lose the stories, rituals, and connections that surrounded it. Italian-American sandwiches, once a staple in home kitchens and neighborhood delis, carried with them traditions that went far beyond taste. They were symbols of family gatherings, Sunday lunches, and the careful guidance of Nonna as she shared cooking wisdom across generations. Every bite represented continuity, heritage, and shared identity. The disappearance of these sandwiches also reflects a broader cultural loss. Recipes anchored communities, giving neighbors and friends common experiences to celebrate and remember. Local bakeries, family-run delis, and markets weren't just places to buy food, they were social hubs. With mass-produced bread and packaged deli meats replacing handcrafted versions, these small centers of community connection slowly faded. The sandwiches themselves became absent, but so did the warmth of shared moments. Food also served as a bridge between generations. When children learned to assemble or prepare these sandwiches alongside elders, they absorbed stories, family values, and a sense of belonging. The loss of such recipes means that these transmission points, informal classrooms of culture, are gone. Without them, memories fade, and with memories fading, a portion of identity quietly disappears. Contrast framing underscores the change. What was once ordinary, a daily act of nourishment and connection, is now extraordinary, almost ceremonial. A sandwich that filled lunchboxes and satisfied workers has become a rare curiosity, evoking nostalgia and longing rather than regular enjoyment. Its absence reminds us of how quickly culture can shift and vanish, even in the midst of thriving communities. Moreover, this loss impacts more than family life. Local economies that depended on small-scale bakers, delis, and specialty markets suffered as demand dwindled. Recipes disappearing from homes also meant fewer patrons for these businesses, closing loops that sustained culinary diversity and economic vitality. In essence, losing these sandwiches means losing pieces of history, memory, and identity. They were not just food. They were living artifacts of Italian-American life, reflecting resilience, creativity, and community spirit. Recognizing their disappearance encourages us to cherish, document, and, where possible, revive these flavors before they vanish completely. The thought of reviving lost Italian-American sandwiches is more than a culinary exercise. It's an opportunity to reconnect with history, culture, and community. Across the country, chefs and food enthusiasts have begun exploring vintage recipes, hunting through old family notebooks, and piecing together flavors that were once ubiquitous. The revival trend isn't just nostalgia. It's a recognition that these sandwiches carry stories, textures, and tastes that modern cuisine often overlooks. Imagine walking into a contemporary deli and finding a classic porchetta and pepper sandwich, roasted to perfection, the aroma echoing decades past. Or a panino di polpette, with tender meatballs enveloped in fresh, locally baked bread, reintroducing a sensory experience many thought lost forever. The act of bringing these recipes back is storytelling in edible form. Each bite serves as a conversation starter, connecting patrons to the lives, struggles, and celebrations of past generations. Farm-to-table movements and artisanal bakeries have created fertile ground for these revivals. Modern chefs, aware of consumer interest in authenticity and history, Experiment with heritage ingredients, hand-rolled ciabatta, homemade giardiniera, and carefully cured meats. They honor the original recipes while sometimes adding contemporary twists that appeal to today's palates. This balance of authenticity and innovation ensures that the sandwiches are both historically respectful and commercially viable. Social media amplifies the potential comeback. Platforms like Instagram and TikTok allow cooks to showcase reconstructed recipes, from the crispy crust of a freshly baked loaf to the precise layering of mortadella and provolone. Hashtags like and help create communities eager to taste and share these culinary treasures. Young food lovers, inspired by visually stunning presentations and storytelling captions, develop curiosity for traditions their grandparents might have taken for granted. Beyond flavor, the revival fosters cultural pride. Families can involve children in recreating these sandwiches, sharing memories of Nonna's kitchen, and passing down rituals once on the brink of extinction. Culinary schools have begun offering workshops on forgotten Italian-American foods, ensuring that professional chefs can carry these traditions forward, not just as recipes, but as cultural artifacts. Contrast framing plays a crucial role in this resurgence. What was once an everyday, unremarkable lunch item is now a rare, celebrated delicacy. Its scarcity and historical significance make it special, and rediscovering it is an act of preservation, education, and joy. The sandwiches that disappeared due to industrialization, changing tastes, or generational shifts now have a chance to reclaim their place on menus and in hearts. In conclusion, the comeback of Italian-American sandwiches isn't a mere trend. It's a reclamation of identity, flavor, and community. Through the efforts of chefs, home cooks, and food historians, these culinary treasures can once again delight tables, evoke nostalgia, and educate new generations. They don't have to remain lost. With passion, care, and creativity, these sandwiches can thrive, bridging past and present in every bite. The journey through lost Italian-American sandwiches reveals more than recipes. It uncovers the cultural threads that wove immigrant communities together. Each sandwich, from the humble panino di polpette to the elaborate porchetta and peppers, tells a story of migration, adaptation, and daily life. They were more than food. They were comfort, identity, and connection, carrying flavors that anchored families to their heritage. As time passed, industrialization, shifting tastes, and convenience foods pushed these sandwiches into obscurity. Yet their legacy remains, waiting to be rediscovered by those willing to listen, taste, and recreate. Nostalgia fuels this revival, but so does curiosity, the desire to experience what past generations savored, and to honor the hands that crafted these meals with care and love. Today, chefs, home cooks, and culinary historians are breathing life back into these forgotten treasures. By embracing authentic ingredients, historical techniques, and storytelling, they transform lost sandwiches into experiences that resonate with modern audiences. Social media and food communities amplify this effort, allowing the flavors and stories to reach beyond kitchens, connecting people across generations and geographies. Ultimately, these sandwiches remind us that food is more than sustenance. It is memory, tradition, and identity. Rediscovering them enriches our tables and our hearts, bridging past and present. So next time you bite into a perfectly layered, flavorful Italian-American sandwich, remember, you are tasting history, culture, and love passed down through generations. Which of these forgotten delights would you want to try first?